Welcome to the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, we got a football game coming up here next week. Arizona taking on Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl next Wednesday at University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix. Glendale, whatever, it's a mouthful. You wrote a great story that's going to run in today's paper about Anu Solomon and what he needs to do in this game. And you asked Rich Rodriguez what he needed to do, and what did he say?
Play better. That was it.
But
He didn't elaborate?
It sounds like a blow-off answer, but it's kind of just really true.
Yeah.
Just every phase of his game needs to improve.
And I think sometimes you catch him at a time where he's talked so much about Solomon, they've analyzed everything, and they've analyzed the injury, and they've analyzed this and that, and it just comes down to the fact that he's got to play better. And he was, significantly better in the first half of the season than he was in the second half. And his numbers from the first 7 games compared to the last 6, I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, he was so much better. And he played some tough teams. He played USC, and he played Oregon. I mean, it wasn't just the Alphabet All-Stars in the non-conference. He played some teams, and I just think as the season went on, defenses started adjusting a little. He dealt with the injury, and he just hasn't been all that effective the last few games. So he says he's healthier now, and they're hoping they can really get him cooking.
Is that one of the knocks on this system, Daniel? And when you expose your quarterback to so many hits and you make him run a lot, that things like this are bound to happen?
I don't know. I guess that could be a knock. I mean, B.J. Danker, who weighs, 170 pounds, dripping wet, I mean, he held up.
Matt Scott held up,
well.
with the exception of some vomiting.
Yeah. So, I mean, they both held up, and Pat White was healthy at West Virginia. And so, I don't know. I think in this situation in college football, with the way that everyone's running offense, quarterbacks are taking hits more than ever. They're being more athletic. They're doing more things, and that's just kind of how it happens. But even pro-style guys get hurt, and I just think it's kind of part of the game.
Is there any chance whatsoever that we will see a special package for either the second or third string quarterback here?
I think you could see some stuff for Randall. Rich Rod obviously won't tell us. But I wouldn't be surprised if after some of the stuff that maybe they saw from him in the Oregon game, that they get him in there more just to run. Put him next to Nick Wilson, tell him to go run the option for a few plays or something. He can run.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed against Oregon. He can show he can run.
And Oregon's not slow.
Right. Even their backups.
Right.
So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Randall at some point.
For Arizona, when we talk about injuries and the lack of depth at some positions and the great depth at others, who is kind of the most valuable guy heading into this game?
Anywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you have to say Scooby Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that's kind of the obvious answer, but to me, he's become the most valuable player on this team. I don't think Nick Wilson and Anu Solomon and Caleb Jones are obviously very valuable. Jared Tevis, Will Parks, Tremaine Bondurant, Dan Pettinato kind of all pop out, but Scooby, when Scooby's at his best, I mean, the team's at their best. And when he's making plays all over the field and creating turnovers, it just changes the dynamic of the team. So I think he's probably the most important guy.
When I just asked you who the most valuable player on the team was, did you just seriously name like 15 dudes?
No, I said Scooby Wright. And then I named a bunch of guys that would be runners-up.
Chase Gorham is a long snapper. He's irreplaceable. Their place kicker, irreplaceable.
Hey, don't talk about Casey Scott.
I know, no, that's what I'm saying. Right, I'm saying.
No, but I've kind of my runners-up would be those guys. But to me, the MVP and the most important guy in the bowl game is going to be Scooby.
Well, and it says something to the depth of this team and to the attitude and approach of this team, is that Scooby Wright is their best player right now. It would be a long argument if we tried to talk about who number 2 was. They spread it out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument for Tevis. Bondurant, you can make an argument for Nick Wilson if we're going both sides of the ball. So, yeah, I don't think if I asked that question on Twitter, who's Arizona's second best player, I think we get all kinds of different answers.
Yep. That'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Burke, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.